So what was the timing? Because I'm trying to think back now how long ago it was that I was there, but you had just come out of a surgery. Like you were just like you
Y-
weren't supposed to be at work at all. And I
Yeah,
was there to
yeah.
do some sales training. You had a hailstorm or something happen the same day. It was just all these
21. I
things
was
going on at one time. Do you remember when it was?
was it was 2022 or 21?
It was before that. It had to be
It was
2021, I think.
2021. Then yeah, because I had my surgery right, like in it was in 21. It wasn't 21.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a year since I had my correct. You're
And
right.
I was in awe. I was sitting there going, dude, this guy just had a heart put in and he's like at work and
That's
he's not
right.
supposed
That's
to
right. I
be.
was really fragile. I was just walking.
Yeah, we could tell. Um, and
Yeah.
the thing I noticed as much as anything else was your team. Your team was it's kind of like when you get forced into something, you rise to the occasion, right?
Yes.
It's what it struck me as with your team. So what it was, there was talent there, but they needed this opening for them to rise to the occasion. And now we don't suggest that anybody go get a heart transplant or anything like that to figure that out with their team. But would you say that that's a good thing for the team to create that type of situation where, hey, it's on you. You got to step up and do things. And is that a good suggestion, or would you say maybe not the way to go about things?
I think it. I think creating a succession planning at first, have everything set up, and then step back. In a short period. And then come in. You're kind of there, and then step back for a longer period. Um, that's what happened with our team because there's so many different surgeries. The first time I was out, you know, but I had my laptop, so I was able to answer questions. Right. It was the second time, it was like, oh, he's in the hospital again, but we know what we're doing. They got more confidence. And then the third time, it's like, oh, he's having another heart surgery, no big deal. By the fourth time, like, oh, he just had his heart transplanted this time. It's no big deal. He's got this.
We'll see him in a few
Yeah,
weeks. He'll be right back
yeah.
in. Yeah. So there's something to learn from that, like putting your team under the fire for a period of time to see what they rise to. That doesn't mean check out, right? Like that's not the thing. We got to come back in and like, hey, coach, and then give advice where advice is needed. But if they don't go through the experience, they don't ever grow into that position. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely agree. Because sometimes I find myself grooming or training somebody, and I put enough weight on them, and their knees start to break, and they just can't make it. No matter how much time I groom them, they're just something about them. Maybe they're not right for that position. So you need to make sure that weight test your leaders or your team as you have out there.
Well, I see so many leaders that groom their team up. They're coaching them, they're teaching them, and they're like bringing them up. But they're always like a safety valve, right? There's a safety valve that you can rely on, and so they're empowered, but they're not autonomous, and that's a very different thing. And when you're autonomous, bad things happen. You got to make some decisions. There's nobody there to give you a backup. And I see so many owners not do that with their teams, not let them actually fail, not let them, we call it the figure it out factor, like go through that part of it because that experience is so invaluable. Right. Because now they know, hey, I messed up and I would do it this way differently next time, or hot dang, I did that right. Good job.
Right.
Yeah, that would be a big takeaway from our conversation today. Like if you're sitting out there as an owner, if you're planning to get into a position where it's not running you every day and you're not in the day-to-day and you're not micromanaging, but you're macro-managing, you got to give your team the opportunity to rise to the occasion. Cut them loose, let them know, like set it up even. It's nice because you were able to go, hey, I got surgery coming up. See you later. Like, I'm out of here. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And it's really like, I would imagine you were fairly cut off from any communication for a good bit of time.
I was, in the ICU for sure. And, especially during COVID, I couldn't even, one person in, that's it. So not to see my kids, but yeah, I was cut off. Um, but as soon as I was able to get my phone, I was back on. So
Yeah, that's the owner right there for sure.
yeah,
Well, you're thinking about the next thing, right? Like that's what you're thinking about, and that's the way most visionary A-type owners think. So, why don't you tell us a little bit about what are some of the next things for Shamrock? Because you have put in a lot of processes and systems and platform type stuff to run your business very effectively and efficiently. Where are you headed with things?
so Shamrock is number 57 on the top 100 contractor, roofing contractors, and it's a
High fives.
platform now. That's
Yeah, that's
heck
good,
yeah,
man.
that's
That's
awesome.
awesome.
Yeah, so um, trying to break below 50 and grow as a platform. We are in 10 locations, and we are looking to still continue to open new locations, but we're also we have a power partner program, so we're looking to help other roofing contractors that are less than $10 million get on and grow using our all of our processes of discounts, supplies, and shingles, and leads, and marketing, and everything else. As you know, so as well as acquire other companies that are at least a 3 million or 3 to 2 million EBITDA, so that we can bring on and create a platform and continue to support and grow throughout the Midwest and South Central.
Okay. So what does that look like from when you say the word platform, it can mean a lot of things. It can mean like I got a software platform or I've got these processes. What do you mean by that? Like, what are those like tangible benefits? Like, because if I'm running a roofing company and I'm doing, I don't know, 2 or 3 million bucks, I'm doing okay financially, personally, if we run it halfway clean.
Right.
What's my incentive? Why would I jump into something like that?
The freedom to do more, the freedom to make more, the freedom to have, the economies of scale. I have, friends of mine who I've helped, they're doing 3 to 4 million, and they're pulling their hair out, no life at all, chasing the money, chasing, everything else. Because 3 to 4 million, I mean, it's really not that much. It's a lot for a lot of people, but it's not much for a lot of people. And so but you are burning the candle at both ends, running with your hair on fire. And this gives you the ability to, well, the tangibles are what you're saving in your material supplies when you're cutting a huge percentage, off of what you're used to paying. The labor network of crews for every single style of roofing system, residential or commercial. As well as the leads. Shamrock, our website is so much butt weight. No matter what market we move into, we can be in the top 10 fairly quickly in no time. And that's, I think, a lot of contractors have been kind of late to the game on that. I came in from a technology, background, from internet marketing, when before e-commerce was around, you had to write in your checks and mail them off. and to be a part of these, groups. I mean, I'm a dork, right? So I have fun geeking out with this stuff. And so I've been working, with the side of the business. And so the leads aspect is one thing. The systems and processes is another. So
I would think the been there, done that part might be really valuable. And it may not be just you, like whatever others that you've acquired. Like, it sounds like you are the guy that's figured out the whole marketing thing. I can generate leads all day long. That's not a big worry.
Right.
And you've got other talents, obviously, right? But this guy over here might be really good at customer experience and service and performing the work. And this guy over here might be really good at buying and getting the right prices. And when you put all those pieces together, the sum of the parts is greater as a whole.
Absolutely.
And are you seeing any of that?
Collaboration, absolutely. One firm we're looking at in Colorado is mainly commercial, but they're really good, and we do a lot of residential, maybe only 10% commercial. So that cross pollination, that training from within, and we do a lot of commercial. There's not, at all of them, but it's great to learn from other people what works. And plus, when you're in that many different markets, there's a lot of different things in different markets, a lot of nuances about, codes, everything.
Every market, Colorado especially with the codes, right? That's a elevation this and elevation that, right?
Right.
So why do you got a pretty good company, you're generating pretty awesome. Why do the merger acquisition pro contractor aspect of things, or power contractor, right? Why do this?
Great question. I could sit on the beach and rot. I've got 2 nice homes and a couple boats and all that stuff, but that doesn't make me happy at all. In fact, it brought me less joy. They told me when I was having the heart transplant that I needed to have less stress in my life. Go buy a boat and a house. So I go buy a house and a boat, and I'm sitting on the lake, and I'm like,
that seems more stressful. I have both of those things. They're both stressful.
Yeah. And so what I find brings me joy is being with everybody. When I get to go with the families of everybody that we're impacting and helping, that's a reason why I do it, why I help with Shamrock. The reason why I want to continue to grow the level that we're doing is because the space needs it, right? If you don't have a business person from an operator, a roofing operator helping grow the platform, and you just let all these other PE firms from outside of the industry that really don't know the industry, that aren't operators, that think they know best business practices because they're sitting behind a desk looking at financial models. Bad things happen when an industry gets ran by that. And so
when you let the bean counters run it, you're in trouble.
Right.
And so is the consumer, I think. I think the consumer is who pays the price on that whole deal.
Absolutely.
Oh, here I am interrupting you again, but this is an important message you do not want to miss because it's about AI. AI in sales. Could you imagine having every sales call recorded, analyzed, tell you what's winning, share it with everybody else so they can start winning? Everybody's closing percentages go through the roof. If you haven't heard of Rilla Voice, you need to. Go check out Rilla today in the comments below.